Okay, so I'm going to start with the other things and I'll end with cross stitch. So if you're not interested in any of this, you can fast forward. I can't remember, but I think this was the cover quilt to a Maggie Bonomi book. If anyone is really wants to know and is can't find it, let me know and I'll go find the book because I know I still have that book. But anyway, this was one of the quilts in that book. And let's see, this is all done. This is 100% hand-dyed wool, not dyed by me, by Janice. Let's see. How does it go? Okay, that's the bottom. There we go. Now I can see the urn and the... Okay, so I'm going to have to just kind of stand back here and show you. So this is the top. As you can see, I started this with hopes of finishing it in 2016. That didn't happen. It is finished now, though. It was all hand appliqued. It says on one side, it says live, love, and then laugh is on the other side. And then my initials are in the urn, but very hard to see and done like they were written by a 5-year-old or a 2-year-old. And that was the point behind it. It was supposed to be really primitive, and your initials were supposed to be very kind of hard to read, almost the same fabric as the urn. And there's the little bird, and then just some swirls and some pennies there at the bottom. So I need to probably back this. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, or if I'm just going to hang it up like this, and it's covered in cat hair right now because the cats love to lay on this. So I need to use a lint roller and really get all of the cat hair off of it. And then I either need to back it and put a little bit of quilting in it, or I need to just hang it or do something. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I have an area in here that has a quilt rack, a hanging quilt rack, and I want to take that down. And I've been developing old pictures that I got from my father-in-law, like old black and white pictures from like 1930 and 40 and 50 and 60. And I've been developing those in different sizes, and I want to put them in different kind of rustic old frames and kind of do a vignette of old pictures. And I kind of want this to be either to the side of those or in the center and do the pictures around. So that's kind of my idea for that, but I need to get those pictures framed, and I've gotten a lot of them developed. I've been just doing them little by little. Okay, then I've been working on these quilted fabric Easter baskets, and I've done them this size. This one is the actual pattern. This is a free pattern. I'll show it to you first, and then that's the inside of it with some little fabric Easter eggs. This pattern is a free pattern online from, let me tell you the name, of quilter and designer that I've gotten other free patterns from. She does a lot of tutorials, and they're excellent. She does pictures and written words, and hopefully I printed her, did not print out her name. So if anybody wants to know that, let me know and I'll go look it up. I have it just on my iPad. And then so this was the actual pattern for the original one that I made. And then I kind of took her pattern and designed, just changed the shape a little bit. And I made this one. So it's square, and I just put some kind of pleats in here to give it a little bit more shape. And then that's the inside of that one with the little fabric Easter eggs. And then this is another one I made. And this is kind of this, and again, I just changed the shape and made it sort of long and skinny, or tall and skinny. And that's the inside of this one. Really cute fabric. So yeah, I'm going to make a few more of those, and I have some ideas for what I want to do for those. The crocheted Easter eggs, also a really good tutorial and pattern, is from retromama.etsy.com. She has an Etsy shop, but this was a free pattern on her blog, but Retro Mama. And there was actually a link from the the bag pattern to the Easter eggs, but it was two different people. So if anybody needs to know that, let me know, and I'll be happy to let you know. But I have some ideas. And then these little Easter eggs were so fun. I just took scraps of fabric, and you just make 4 parts. You cut 4 parts, and you stitch them together, and you stuff them. And I used all kinds of different fun, and some of them aren't shaped very well because they're kind of fiddly and kind of small when you're, I like this one a lot. They're cute. They're just really cute. And I just use polyfill to stuff them. This one is cute with the little polka dot. It's a little, they're kind of deformed, but kind of fun. I have a friend, my friend Gail has a granddaughter who's 2, and I thought she would have fun with the little Easter eggs, and they could hide them, and she could find them, the little fabric Easter eggs, and that way if they get lost, it's no big deal because they're not going to smell. Okay, cross stitch wise, so I finished Brick House Sampler, and I took it to Julie's, and Julie is framing it for me, and I'm super, super excited to have that framed. I'll try to insert a picture of it here. That took me, I think I started that on January 1st, and I think I finished it like February 12th or something like that. So it took about 6 weeks. I worked on it pretty much monogamously. I loved it. It was so fun. I didn't want to put it down. I was sad when I was done stitching it, but yet excited to be done. So the next thing that I've been working on almost solely as far as cross stitch is Pink House Sampler. I was inspired to start this by Carol of Saltbox Stitcher, and then I was really inspired to work on it because she's almost done with hers, and she showed hers in her last video, and it is fabulous. It is so beautiful. I'm doing it in all the called for. It's all Gentle Arts and Country Cottage and 1 Week's Dye Works. I'm using all of the called for, and it's been a very interesting process because, so if you look at the house, you can see that, you know, it's pink, and the majority of the house is done in Faded Rose, which is a Gentle Arts Faded Rose. But do you kind of see some stripes in it? So like up here, there's some really, really prominent stripes. That is done in Jakey Brown, or Jakey Brown, Jakey Brown. And that, my 2 floss cards of that color are very pink and very, very similar to Faded Rose. And so while I have put those in, you can't really see them. I mean, they look, do you see how mine looks pretty, I guess you kind of can see the striping at the top in the main section of the house over here. But like, there's 2 kind of like upper windows here that are, or there's actually 3 of them that go across, or shutters or something that's up here, and those are in Jakey Brown or Jakey Brown, and you can barely see those. But I'm leaving it because I feel like it's a faded, and then there's another color in there, cinnamon toast, and that's also in there, and again, it kind of just all blends together and looks similar. But I'm leaving it. You know what? That's what it called for. It looks old. It looks like an old house. It looks like an old faded pink house, and I love it. So yeah, I kind of, in the grass, I love these flowers in the grass are so much fun, and it's a delight. I love it. It's Plum Street. What can I say? I love every single thing about Plum Street, and it's so much fun. I did start it, so about halfway through Brick House, I switched to using Q-snaps and a lap stand, which I love, the Elin lap stand. And so the second half of Brick House is done in a stand, and the right hand side is done with Q-snaps and the left-hand side was done in hand. And if you look closely, you can see the difference. But I think, you know, once I pressed it and everything, I don't think that the average person will be able to tell. This is all being done in the Q-snaps, except I started it when I was working in hand, so, you know, back in the fall. And I started it too close up here to do this part in the Q-stand. So I'm going to have to do the upper border and the side border in hand. And I think it'll be okay. It's fine. It's on 32 count something. I don't know. 32 count, or I'm sorry, 36 count 1/2. But I mentioned that we have all the snow, and it's snowing everywhere, and it's icing everywhere, and the roads are terrible, and I never remember this much snow any place I've ever lived. But it's fine. You know, it's winter. It is what it is. It's not going to last forever. It'll be over soon. But yesterday I had just had enough, and I needed some spring. I just needed a little bit of spring. And I was watching, I have a new love on Flosstube, and let me think if I can remember her name. If I can't, I'll scroll it across the bottom. She's just fabulous. She has 6 Flosstube videos out. She welcomes you. She always bakes cookies and has a pot of coffee on. I can't think of her name, but I will scroll it across the bottom. And I was watching her, and she had talked about this free Snowflower Diary pattern that she had stitched. And it was just cute as anything, and it's this one. It's called Spring Bunny Love. And so I went to Snowflower Diaries because I hadn't been on their website in a long time, and I love their stuff. That's a Snowflower monthly up there, the February monthly with the 2 mallard ducks. But anyway, I saw about 15 things I wanted to stitch, and I kept myself at bay, and I did download Spring Bunny Love because I intended to do that, and I actually started it last night. This is on a piece of, so this is very interesting, this is on a piece of very pink hand-dyed fabric by Teresa Vanette, Kitten Stitcher, and the piece is actually called Autumn, but it's very pink, and I got it because it was very pink in the picture, but it's actually called Autumn. It does have some brown, a little bit of brown swirls in it, but it's really beautiful fabric. It's super lush. I think it's 32 count also. Anyway, so I started it. There's my little start on the bunny, and I didn't start this until like 8:30 last night when I had finished the other one that I downloaded, which was Tulips with Bunny, which is this one. Also very cute. This is on another piece of fabric, I think by Teresa, but I had used it for something else, and this was just the little last remaining piece that I had left. And so I stitched that up. I used Caterpillar by Weeks Dye Works for the bunny, and so he's a little bit modelly. On this one, I'm using like DMC, maybe like 838 or something like that. It just reminded me of a milk chocolate bunny, so that's what I wanted to use. But I liked the modeling on this one. And then I just used random threads for everything else. It's a lot of pink, but it's cute. And it's just, I needed it last night. It was just super springy. So when I get done here editing these, I'm going to work a little bit more on the other ones. So that's it. This has been really, really disjointed. I'm really sorry. I wasn't thinking I was going to have time to film today, and I really only had a little bit of time, and so you just kind of got a download and a mishmash of everything, and I apologize for that. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're getting lots of time to stitch. If the weather's cold and it's snowy outside, or it's raining as it is for some people, or it's just generally yucky, the only upside to it right now that I can find, but it's a big upside, is that we can stay inside and stitch. And so I hope you're at least able to do that. Wishing you a happy March 1st tomorrow, and I hope you guys all are having a good day. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.